Stop posting everywhere to feel productive. Start showing up somewhere to make a profit. So if your last Instagram post got like 1,000 likes on it, but it got zero sales, do you really want to celebrate that? Hello again, my friend. Welcome back. Matt Coffey here, the CEO of Profit Engines. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some businesses seem to grow on autopilot while others keep spinning their wheels month after month? Does this sound familiar to you? It's not the product. See, it's not the logo. It's definitely not because they hacked the algorithm. It's because businesses are running on marketing tactics that are pretty much flat out broken and they don't even know it. You see this every day. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on what actually works. See, we do this every day. There's no fluff, there's no gimmicks. There's just 10 very powerful, battle tested, scalable, wildly profitable strategies I've used to grow not only my own business, but guess about maybe 500 or so businesses. Some of those people include sizable businesses that have got multi-million dollar revenue criteria. Some of those are small businesses. Some of those are huge multi-conglomerate people that are normal individuals that just can't figure it out, just like you. Everybody's stuck. So stick with me because in the next few minutes, I'm going to give you what's going to change in your look at how marketing works forever. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the 40-40 rule. And I actually put a little bit of cake on the top called the 40-40-20 rule. See, here's a question about your marketing. It isn't working because you're blaming things, right? Most people just scramble to fix their websites, their ads, or they're thinking they're missing some special offer. But the really killer insight is that 40% of your marketing success comes from choosing the right market. That's right. Let me say that again. If you're selling to the wrong person, no tactic will win in the world. Nothing will save you. If you're trying to sell a filet steak to a vegan, you're not going to win that argument. And the same goes with everything, including pricing strategies. That other 40% comes from your offer. You see, what you are promising to them, is it something they actually want? Many times we talk to customers and they're selling things that people don't want because they've not even thought about it. They just said, this is what I think they want. If it's not packaged in the way that people want, then they're not going to buy it. And the other 20%, and the last part that people obsess over, is the words, the videos, the colors, all those little things that they think are important. See, people start here, and that's the mistake. You need to fix the first thing in your market, the messaging of your entire strategy. Because the loop I want to close for you here is before you write another ad or you ask about like, what should I be doing? What should I be speaking to? And who should I be giving this information to? I want you to think about this one thing, the answer. So you're no longer guessing. You want to be exactly the person who knows who their client is. So speak to your client like they're your best friend who is in dire need of your solution and ask them what they need. Find somebody who is actually buying and ask them what they'd like before you go out and make your own decision. Now, strategy number 2, which is something that I would suggest, is goals and metrics that actually matter. Your marketing is supposed to do each month? Do you know what you're supposed to get for your targets? Now, in theory, I mean, not just in numbers. Because right now, there's some traps. Because how do you really define what success looks like? Because numbers are one thing, but most entrepreneurs, they measure what's in their ego, how many likes they got, how many views they got, not their effectiveness. So they might share these shares and comments and so forth that they see that are positive and responding back. But really, when the cash register rings, that's what you need. So none of those things pay the bills. So let me break this down. There are only a few metrics that truly matter. ROI, return on investment. ROAS, or as we call it, ROAS, return on ad spend. CAC, cost to acquire a customer. LTV, lifetime value of a customer. Everything else, kind of just fluff. Now, I'm not saying you should ignore engagement and invest in times at looking at trends and how things might work. And if there's people who are maybe finding some of your videos super exciting to look at and maybe looking at the activity that you're doing because it's interesting, but are those people buying, right? So that's how we want to spot real trends. That's how we want to ladder up driving real revenue, what we call KPIs, key performance indicators, if you want to really go. So if your last Instagram post got like 1,000 likes on it, but it got zero sales, do you really want to celebrate that? See, metrics that really drive decision. And when I say CAC and LTV, which we just talked about before, those are the things that unlock your scalability because the cost to acquire a customer, CAC, and the long term value of your customer, LTV, are really the things that matter. Because if it costs you $100 to buy a customer in the market, if you're running ads, and your long time value for that customer is $1,002, meaning that they spend $1,000, well, that's a 10 to 1 ratio. So you'd be happy getting a customer for $100. So the goal is that you want to build marketing that is straightforward. So here's the loop we're closing here. Marketing success is math. If you know your numbers and you stop guessing, you start growing. Now, strategy number 3, sell with empathy and not persuasion. If you want the ultimate cheat code, understand your audience better than anybody else understands them, even themselves. Here's the truth. People don't buy when they understand you. They buy when they feel understood by you. That's a big difference, right? And that comes down to one thing, empathy. What keeps them up at night? What's the pain they'd pay anything to escape? What's the dream they'd chase if they just believe it was possible? We call these miseries and miracles. And your job is to build a bridge between the two. You offer the path that takes them from pain to the possibility of this dream. Most people aren't marketing their product. They're marketing a transformation if they're really good. So let me ask you, what does your prospect see in your ad, your video, your Instagram post, or whatever it might be? What do you think you're doing when you create a feeling within them? Are you speaking to them directly? If not, we have some work to do. Because when your message actually hits home, that's when conversions start to skyrocket. Because you're not just giving them logic, you're giving them an emotional conversion. Meaning, that, my friend, is the big difference between someone who's scrolling and someone who is buying. That's the big loop to think about here, which is make people stop and think about why they should be buying with you, not just logic about buying. Now, strategy number 4, go where the people are. Let me hit you with some real reality. It's not how often you post. Now, I've learned this because we post a lot. We post thousands of times each month on all different channels. But it's really where you post that makes the most sense. So here's the hook. Are you planting seeds in fertile sowing? Are you? Are you sowing seeds or throwing them on the concrete and just stomping on them? Most creators make a fatal mistake of just following whatever platform rather than the audience behavior. Your audience isn't everywhere. They hang out in specific places for specific reasons. Facebook, relationships, Instagram, inspiration, YouTube, deep dive into trust building, TikTok, entertainment, and impulse. Each has a different psychology. Now, so the real move, platform matching? Maybe. Study your top 20 customers. Where do they spend time? Where do they consume content versus where they might post it, right? Businesses, maybe LinkedIn. Entertainment, LinkedIn. No. TikTok, right? Now, relationship building, LinkedIn. No. Facebook, right? So think about what the place where people spend their time. Then go all out on that platform. This isn't about being omnipresent. It's about being present in the right pond. Here's the loop to close. Stop posting everywhere to feel productive. Start showing up somewhere to make a profit. Now, there's nothing wrong with posting when you have time. But if you are like many of the small businesses I speak with on a daily basis, make the effort to post where your people spend the most time. Strategy number 5, short form gets great reach, long form gets results. So let's rip off the Band-Aid here. Short form video won't make you rich, not by itself. Here's your wake up call. Short form is in the click. Long form is in the close. Attention is cheap. Trust is earned. And you earn it by going deeper, not faster. You need both. Yes, short form gives people interest, but long form will stoke the fire of trust. But don't confuse viral views with valuable. conversations and valuable conversions at that point. Because sometimes getting lots of views doesn't mean that you're solving problems. It might mean that you're just creating somebody who's interested in viewing what you're doing as opposed to viewing what you're going to do for them. Now, obviously, using Reels and Instagram and TikTok Shorts to draw people in is a huge thing to do, especially with YouTube Shorts and so forth. Webinars and podcasts and long form types of content can help close the loop with clients. So if your entire brand lives on little 15-second, let's just call them dopamine hits, don't be surprised when your revenue doesn't grow because people aren't going to go and make a decision off of a 15-second video. But the power play here is to create a lot of long form content that actually helps and then slice that into the short form, right? So the goal is to make sure that you're taking your long form content like you see right here, and you're taking it and maneuvering it into short form. Now, that is a huge solution for things that create lots and lots of good willpower within your client because they're seeing breakouts of great long form and hopefully very educational and deep dive content that you're creating around your brand that means something and is emotionally converting them into buyers. Strategy number 6, comment to lead automation. Now, the futuristic gold mine you're going to be tapping is your comments. And the comments themselves are the ones of the people who are engaged. So let me paint the picture. Imagine posting some sort of, let's say, Instagram reel that says, want a free guide? Comment start. Someone types start. Now, what's really cool is that that doesn't mean that you go in and physically give them an answer to, oh, great, we'll give you a guide. Here, what's your email? Now, perhaps we in the smart marketing world put a connection to that comment and instantly send out a response that grabs them and boom, instant opt-in, instant value, right? You don't need a VA. You don't need a person that's locally in your office. There's no burnout of chasing people down after this comment to comment strategy. So this comment to lead automation is wildly effective. And when it's used with companies like High Level, which is what we do, you can get lots of leads. In fact, some of our clients have 500 leads a day coming in today. And they don't spend a dime on ads, right? They're putting out content. People are responding. Now they've scaled it certainly to a certain point where they can get that many leads in a day. But all of those DMs are being responded to and being picked up as leads. And here's the kicker. That DM can go for what we want. Free guide, an appointment link, a webinar info. And in fact, we're even using AI to create personalized interaction. Now that's a little bit of an advanced technique. And that takes some integration, but it's possible at this point. This is all inbound at scale, built on curiosity, speed, value, and the strategy around providing value. The loop here, you stop chasing leads and they start chasing you. Strategy number 7, the new SEO. Now, this is called intent-based discovery. Google isn't the only search engine anymore. Yes, that's your hook right there. It isn't? Yes, well, people are searching on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, even Amazon. Holy crap. More likely on ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and any of the tools that are out there. And the question is, when they do that, do they find you? It's not about keyword stuffing your website with a topic, right? To try and get Google to find you. It's about intent. Real people asking real questions, looking for real answers, for real solutions. So what does that mean for you, Mr. or Mrs.? You need to create content that shows up with relevance now. Start by identifying the questions that your buyers might be asking before they buy, during when they buy, and after when they buy. Because those questions everywhere they search in every single content, Google, YouTube, TikTok, and even into the AI tools like ChatGPT. Those types of answers, whether you put them out there in those tools or you put them out in your content, it becomes super important because the platforms have changed. Again, the prize is still the same, but the answer is how do you get to those clients? And the best answer is to win the buyer by answering their question, by coming up with the predetermined most important questions that they go through in their buying behavior as they go through their buying discovery phase. And if you know these answers and you know these questions and you put them out on all these different channels, and then it gets basically scraped by these different platforms, you become the winner when the buyer's ready. Now, strategy number 8, a minimum effective dose of content. Are you ghosting your audience or smothering them? That's the tension and the balance. The answer lies with what I call the minimum effective dose. Think about this. If you were to send one email a month, like it's texting someone once a year, maybe asking for a favor, if you post 3 times a day with no purpose, you become white noise. You need a rhythm, a heartbeat, so your audience can feel you. Here's a sample: one YouTube video every 2 weeks, 2 to 3 emails a week, 5 short form videos every 10 days. That's not too overwhelming. It's sustainable. It's what we ask our clients to do, although some of them do more and some of them do none. And you can imagine the people that do more end up being more successful. That doesn't mean you have to blast every channel every day. Some of our clients do. Some have multiple different handles on each channel. Some of them have 7 posts going out a day per channel, making over 20 to 30 videos in one channel a day. You don't need to do that. You don't need maybe 500 leads a day. Maybe you just need 1 lead a day or 2 leads a day, right? So it's all about being strategic and not burning out on your own momentum. It's sustainable momentum, right? It's the minimum viable dose. And that's how you can stay top of mind without burning out. So think about that when you're starting to do your content. Maybe start with a practice of being, let's do 2, then 4, then 8, and build your momentum up. Strategy number 9, record. Just don't repurpose. Now, here's the killer idea. Re-recorded, let's just say short form content crushes repurposed content. Why? Because short form is a different beast. It needs eye contact, direct access, fast pacing, heavy hooked, and scripting. That's not something that you may want to do. But cutting a clip from a long form podcast, that's actually just background noise. Refilming that insight, speaking direct to the camera, that's conversation. Take your best performing long form piece of content. Pick 5 golden nuggets. Write out some scripting on that. That's 15 seconds to summarize that. So now you've got something with actual purpose and not just a cut up piece of content. That's where things change. If you record it vertically with purpose, like it's coming out of you directly that you just said, even though it's from a long form piece of content that you've summarized and repurposed, that's how you can actually scale a lot quicker with better content. That's real short form content. And that's how we've scaled a lot of this. You realize we've scaled to getting thousands of views on a daily basis just from doing this. And you can imagine over time what that really means for somebody. So stop trying to shortcut things if you can kind of think about trying to get there in a real way. Start showing up strategically. Now, number 10. Here's the last one. Be a human. I think everybody knows let's just call it the realization of AI just made authenticity a superpower. Your hook? Well, simple. We don't trust perfect anymore. See, you don't need a fancy setup. You see behind me? It's nothing crazy. It's just my band room, as they might call it, but it's my room where I can get a lot of stuff done. I like it because it's completely soundproof and there's no echo, so it's great for recording videos. But no fancy setup. Just use your phone, use daylight, speak like you're helping a friend, and show your face. Share some of the quirks. Maybe your background might be something that's of interest to people, maybe a hobby, like behind me, like writing songs and playing in a band that works with national acts, all that fun stuff. Video builds trust at scale. It converts too. If let's just say if you're being afraid of being on camera, which a lot of our clients are at first, let me ask you, are you more afraid of not reaching the people who need you? Right? Because your story, your mission, your knowledge, it helps people, but only if they see it. So here's the loop to close for this one. Be human, show up, deliver value. You don't have to be a performer. Well, maybe I am just a little bit. Maybe on the weekends I perform a bit, but I would suggest for you, just be present. Be there for your clients. My final thoughts here are, marketing isn't magic, but it's predictable. If you want to implement any of this, or you're feeling stuck and you don't know what to do, and you look at this and you go, why do you have to say all these things that I don't have time to do? Well, let's book a call. Let's help you out. And I'll show you exactly how to scale your business, whether it's AI strategies, complex or more simple. This is for your business. No pressure, just some clarity. Let's get you moving. Again, it's Matt Coffey from Profit Engines. We'll see you in the next episode.